I broke out another bottle of soju just for tonight's topics.
There's
a podcast called Between Two Slabs. They consume mass media. It seems so sad. It's the great Curator and Merlin. They can't grow pubes, so they gotta wear a merkin. They got no money, so I guess they gotta share. Just two nerds wishing they could grow body hair. Comics, cards, and toys, nothing that would interest you. It's the podcast that nobody listens to.
All right, rise and shine, everyone. It is back Between Two Slabs time with Dan, the great Curator, and Merlin of Merleworld Cards. Check us out, both of us. As you know, Dan's on YouTube, he's on Instagram, he's on TikTok, he's on OnlyFans.
Did you say TikTok? Did you say TikTok? Oh my gosh.
Okay, only after he finishes this bottle, he'll be on OnlyFans.
Were you about to say OnlyFans?
I did say OnlyFans. After he finishes this bottle. We saw him last week. And check him out at The Great Curator. His name is the same all over the place. And likewise, for me, Merlin, I'm Merleworld Cards, M-E-R-L-E, World Cards. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, and what else? YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, follow us, like, leave. And man, more importantly, you might not know this, guys, but leave some comments and all our stuff. That's even more important than subscribing and liking our stuff.
We need the comments.
We need interaction. Okay, folks? Just put something in there. Ask us a question. Leave a comment. Let us know how we're doing. We need to know, guys.
Even if it's an emoji, you can leave it. Even if you want to criticize us, go ahead.
Yes.
In my earlier days, before I understood how the algorithm works, I used to just like delete the negative comments. But now I learned that the negative comments are actually the ones that get the most points for the algorithm, because those are the people that are most engaging. So if you guys want to criticize Merlin for anything, go ahead and do that.
Wow. Okay.
Don't criticize me for anything, okay? But go ahead and criticize this guy right here, and we'll be sure to respond.
So yeah, we've got a lot of stuff today. We had we had one of the world's record longest shows last week. We were like over 2 hours, 15 minutes or something, but we had lots of questions, lots of people, a lot of interaction. So that's what we're looking for, folks. So thank you all who stayed for that 2 hours and 15 minutes last week. It was definitely worth it, guys. Don't you think so, Dan?
For sure. We had great conversation.
Yes.
So I try to keep the podcast down to a digestible time frame. You know what I mean? I tried to keep it around like an hour and a half, but then we just kind of spill over to like an hour 45, sometimes an hour 50. But now I'm just gonna say, like, if we have good organic conversation going and it's flowing, we should just keep going as long as we have viewers and as long as it's and engagements.
No, I mean, we had 50 viewers till the very end. Yeah,
that's the way I like to do it. I don't want to be as constricted with the conversation as we've been trying to do. So, guys, if you want to put comments in there, we will try to answer every single comment before we end the show. Okay, we always do it at the end, but if you guys want to get your comment answered right away, just give us a little super chat sticker, whatever it is, and then that gives us the alert, and then we'll be able to answer it right away.
Sorry, folks. I don't know, Dan. I don't know what's wrong with my camera right here, but it's driving me crazy. I think when I edit a lot, the camera does this. I probably need to reboot, but oh well, we're live, so I'll have to worry about next week. Sorry, guys. We got a lot to talk about.
But before we get into let me just kind of give you guys a preview of the conversation tonight, okay? First, we're going to give you an update on the WWE versus Panini situation. We didn't break the news, but we were one of the first people to actually talk about it when the news broke. And since then, there has been a little bit more information that has come out. So we'll update you guys about that, and we'll talk about it, and we'll kind of give our thoughts on that. Then I want to talk about the topic of conversation tonight is, what does it mean or why do we collect, right? Why do we collect? Good question. I have a story that prompted this topic, so we'll talk about that. And then I want to talk about the strategy of having diamond hands in the hobby. And I'm going to give you guys the perfect example for that. And then we'll get to our comments. We'll do mail days and all that great stuff. But before we get into that, Merlin, we got to pay the bills, okay? We got to keep these lights on, pay the bills. We got to talk about our sponsors go ahead and tell them about Veriswap.
Oh, Dan, I'm going to do that, but I forgot to add one thing at the beginning. I want to mention, folks, that you might not know, but we have it in the descriptions. Dan and I also do a podcast of this live stream.
We do? We have a
do.
podcast?
Dan, you don't even know we have a podcast. Yes. And it's on every format. I'm talking about Spotify, Amazon, Google, Tuned In, you name it. We're on it, folks. I mean, we're on like 50 podcast platforms. I heard we're in the top 30 right now. Let's move this baby up. Let's do baby steps. Top 20, top 10. Let's move it up with a bullet, folks. So Casey Kasem can say we're at finally coming in at number 1. It's between 2 slabs. We're moving up, folks. I mean, literally, our numbers for our podcast, Dan, have over quadrupled in the past month and a half.
So
we need y'all.
Full disclosure,
yes.
Merlin handles the podcast side. I never pay attention to it. I never look at the numbers until recently somebody told me that, hey, we listened to you on the podcast, which made me ask Merlin about this. And then he gave me all this data of how we've been doing it. I was like, oh, shit, really? We've been doing good on the podcast? All right. Maybe we should start telling people about it.
Yes, that's why we made to make sure. And I was supposed to say at the beginning, I forgot to. I went through the whole spiel that I'm normally used to, but I had to make sure I talk about the podcast so you can listen to all these different platforms that you know, a lot of people are on Spotify. You can listen to your car while you're while you're washing the car, you know, while you're walking the dog, whenever you want to do, you can listen to Between 2 Slabs. We're on there. So again, download us, listen to us anytime you want to, go through all the archives and help us out. But we're really blowing up on there. So share with your friends. Anyway, our sponsors, that's the reason we can have these podcasts and live streams. Veriswap, it's over my, what is that? My right shoulder, left shoulder right here, right above Slabmags. They are an app that's on your phone. Download it. If you haven't, folks, I'm sure almost everybody that's watching right now has already downloaded Veriswap. But if you haven't, do it now. Dan and I both have done it. It takes literally about 5 minutes to create an account and to upload some of your graded cards. But Dan said you can also upload ungraded cards, wax, raw cards.
Everything.
Yeah, if you're getting the type photos like Dan and I are, you can download type photos. I'm already doing it on my slabs, and I know that Veriswap has partnered also on my slabs to make sure what they do is verify that the cards that you're either selling or trading between 2 people, that it's all kosher. It goes to the third party. They're the middleman. They make sure when it goes, say I'm sending something to New York City and I'm living in Los Angeles, and let's say Veriswap's in Chicago. Well, I ship it out. It goes to Veriswap in Chicago first. They look at it like, yep, this is the card that person's supposed to get. Then it heads to New York and vice versa. They make sure that card coming from New York goes to LA with the right card, and everybody's happy and everybody's safe. You're not getting robbed or ripped off, because if you want to trade with someone you have no clue who they are, who's reached out to you and you've never met them before, you're like, who's this weird person? Get off, get away from me. You can make sure, well, listen, yeah, I'll do a trade or I'll sell you my card, but go through Veriswap first. That card's on there. Look at it. And it's a very minimal price. I mean, it's less than eBay and PWCC and all those other places. It's just, you're paying for the service. You're paying for the insurance, and that's a lot more worth it than getting ripped off.
Yeah, definitely. It gives you peace of mind. It's a small fee to pay to have a middleman service facilitate that trade, but it's definitely worth it, guys, because let me tell you, there is no worse feeling in the world than getting scammed in the hobby.
That's right.
If you send a card out to somebody and you get an empty box in return, or they say it's a no-show and they file a claim and they claw back their money, there's no worse feeling than feeling like you got scammed, okay? So just pay for the peace of mind. It's totally worth it. Veriswap is definitely taking over. It's being adopted worldwide in the hobby. So very excited to see that company grow. Also, I am pitching my idea to them about the written purchase agreement for big trades too. So hopefully they'll listen to me and they'll adopt that, and then that will be an extra layer of protection. If not, whatever, somebody will do it eventually. Okay. All right. So that's Veriswap, our second sponsor that we want to talk about. We really don't have to say too much about these guys because they're so popular already. But our friend Slabmags, I am Mr. Slabmags. I am considered Mr. Slabmags for a couple years now. I'm a big fan of this service here. Check this out, guys. They are the only slab protector on the market that gives you front and back protection, multi-colors. They have all these new metallic colors now. The metallic golds that just came out are so cool. This is the perfect way to protect and enhance the display value of your slabs. I just got this back from PSA. My
beautiful
red PMG, and look how beautiful
color match red
in the red. It's perfect. They actually came out with these colors early on in the production line. They came out with these colors, these shades, because of me, guys. Okay, I'm going to take credit for that. I told them that I want these to match the PMGs, and they said, Dan, we're going to listen to you. They gave me red, they gave me purple, they gave me green, they gave me gold. All the PMG colors match this. That's why I love this product so much. Don't forget also UV protection on this too, guys. So great for protecting your autographs. I put all my high-end cards in the Slabmags, and I like to joke around that I say that they enhance your card value by 10%, guys.
Mm-hmm.
You put your card in a Slabmag, it goes up 10% automatically. But definitely a must. Use the code that we have at the bottom here, code Curator. You get 10% off Slabmags, so check them out, guys.
That's right. So when you go on a date, you don't want to look like a sloppy mess. You want to look like your best. You want to wear your A game. The same with cards. You want to put that Slabmag on that card when you go to a card show, and it's going to look 10 times more. You're going to have your A game, guys.
It's a must. Don't be a savage, okay? Don't be uncivilized. Don't put your $10,000 card in a piece of plastic sleeve, all right? Get a Slabmag and display it like a gentleman. Okay, so as I pour myself the rest of my soju bottle here.
That's it?
I only had about like half of this, and I already drank like 2 of these already. So
good Lord, man. Wow, we have to have a soju intervention.
I'm in a good mood tonight. So, towards the middle of this podcast, I think it's going to get a little bit spicy with the conversation.
Ooh, saucy.
Yeah, so we're gonna have some good conversation, okay? But I'm actually pitching for this company to sponsor us next. So we'll see if we can get the soju sponsor on Slabs. But let's get into the first topic here, which is the WWE. Wait, did I say that right?
WWE.
The soju's already hitting me, guys. Okay, WWE.
Imagine if we were still like when it began. You remember what it was called when it began?
What?
The league? WWF.
Oh,
the Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
One day,
and then Vince McMahon, the younger one, the one we know now, he shrunk it down when he took over in the early '80s to WWF.
I like WWF better. I'm
always
a WWF guy, but anyway, it's okay.
Yeah.
So since we had since the breaking news last week, there have been a couple developments. Number one is we found out that the contract was actually terminated about 2 weeks prior to the announcement of them terminating it publicly, right? So this happened just around maybe even before WWE was sold or merged with UFC, okay? So this has been in the works for a little while now. We found out that there was a formal complaint filed against Panini by WWE and a temporary restraining order put on Panini to try to stop them from selling any future WWE products. But that temporary restraining order was denied, but they did do that. And in that filing, they had basically a laundry list of complaints about why they were trying to terminate this contract with Panini. But basically, the gist of it was that they were accusing Panini of acting in bad faith through the contract. And then Panini responded by saying, no. We went above and beyond our requirements in the contract. And they listed all these things that they did for WWE. So it was like a little back and forth. But that is what has happened since then, okay? So here's my updated thoughts on this, Merlin.
Okay.
Number one, if this happened prior to the WWE merger, this is definitely like a back end inside, calling in favors, pulling strings, Michael Rubin power move on Panini. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
While WWE is going through a sale, which is the biggest internal business event that has ever happened for WWE, while they're going through this multi-billion-dollar sale to UFC to merge and do all that stuff, somehow Michael Rubin calls up the right person. Who knows? Maybe he called Triple H, Vince McMahon. He called somebody, Dana White, and he said, I need you to terminate this contract. I need you to do this, right? And somehow through all the last minute work that had to be involved to close the deal, they also did this on top of that. That's crazy to me that they would find the time to actually do that. Okay, to have their lawyers to have a couple of their lawyers go off, look through this contract, this licensing contract agreement with Panini, find a loophole, and then send them a letter terminating the contract. That's crazy. That's number one. Number two, it's crazy that to me that I don't know if it's crazy is the right word, but it is definitely what's the word I want to use here? Not petty, not crazy, but I don't know if there's a word to describe this, but no holds barred, like gloves off, that Michael Rubin would make this call and order them to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the midst of terminating the NFL license, in the midst of being sued for antitrust practices, on top of that, he goes and he does this.
Oh, like triggered.
There's no rules anymore, right? It is anything goes. Anything goes in this war between Fanatics and Panini. And this is just like another move that he had to pull. Did he really have to do that? Probably not. But could he do it? Yes, he proved that he could do it. And what is the result? The result is another punch to the gut to Panini, having them look like a fool in the hobby and having them to respond and having them to use their resources. So that was pretty crazy. And then the third point, and then I'll turn it over to you, Merlin, that I want to bring up here, is basically now Panini is like they're fighting wars on multiple fronts now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fighting Fanatics in a lawsuit. Now they're fighting WWE, because remember, this is WWE that is suing them. Okay, that is terminating contract, not Fanatics.
Not Fanatics.
WWE. And WWE, they're no strangers to litigation. They've got a whole floor in their office dedicated to their legal services, right?
Sure.
Their attorneys. They got like 50 lawyers in their legal department. They're no stranger to litigation or suing people or anything, and they live for this kind of stuff. So now Panini is fighting wars on two fronts. They probably have other lawsuits that I don't know about, but these are the two main ones they got to deal with, and they've got to basically divide their resources to go both ways. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
It's really crazy to see that them get disrupted like this. I would love to be in the strategy meeting between their high level management team and just hear what they're thinking. You know what I mean? Like, are they like, oh, we're going to get these guys? Or are they like, oh my God, these guys won't leave us alone? Like, what is the morale between their management team right now? That's what I would love to just kind of hear that. I would love to hear an interview with like whoever runs Panini, which I don't even think we know. Do we know who actually runs Panini? Like, is the CEO, is he like public at all? I don't know, but I would love to have an interview. I would love to see like Jeff Wilson
who's
interview
the decision
him,
maker on all this,
you know, and talk about that stuff. But it's crazy to me that has happened. What are your thoughts on this?
It's crazy. I've been trying to read right now on X. I was trying to do it earlier today because I noticed that Neo sports cards. He had a guy on X, Paul Lesko, and he has a lot of information on X right now. So if you guys want to check it out and, investigate further, I suggest going. He's putting a lot of posts on there that it's going to definitely do some homework that I want to read about and really catch up on the legalities of this. I mean, it seems like he's posting stuff like every hour. That's how much is going on in the past week since Dan and I reported this. When was that, Dan? Wednesday, Thursday?
Yeah, it was like Wednesday, I think.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's just so much craziness going, everything. And then on top of that, there are so many changes going on, good and bad, with WWE and also the AEW. So there's a lot of ruffling the feathers, definitely, for sure. And someone says, in the chat room, we all know also around that same time, Jade Cargill, they just got signed with WWE. So that's going to be a big name. Is she going to come straight in too? And when are we going to have cards, Dan?
I'm going to tell you this.
When are we going to have cards?
Is this
going to hurt?
No, that's a great question. So this is where we can kind of speculate a little bit. There have been a lot of talking heads out there saying what they think is going to happen. All these idiots saying what they think is going to happen to them. Okay. So this is my contribution to that. Right. Or what I'm not going to speculate on what's going to happen, but I'm going to offer a what if scenario, right? What if Fanatics signs a new licensing agreement with WWE? Because we know that they work together. Okay. So what if in the midst of this lawsuit, they sign another agreement outside of this lawsuit with Fanatics, with Topps, and Topps starts making wrestling cards the same time that Panini is supposedly supposed to release their wrestling cards, right? Mm-hmm. We could potentially have two companies making wrestling cards at the same time. How crazy would that be?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, but will they legally be able to do that?
No, because
I don't think so.
Because there is a current licensing agreement between WWE and Panini. WWE has unilaterally terminated that agreement, and now Panini is going to have to sue them to get them to honor those terms, basically, or vice versa. I forget who.
And is it it's not a hard end, I don't think, though, is it?
What do you mean by that?
Just totally cut off. Today is it?
Yes, they terminated.
Really? Okay. Because I saw some news. They think was a soft termination.
That is WWE's position. They terminated effective immediately the licensing agreement. Okay.
Okay. So if they still have Immaculate coming out or whatever, then that's cut off.
That's why they had a restraining order in place. Jeez. But the restraining order was denied. So Panini can technically, I think, release their current.
Okay, that's probably what I was reading then.
Okay. So you got WWE's position saying the contract is terminated. It's done. You got Panini's position saying, no, we got 2 years left. We're good.
Yeah, right?
2 years. Okay. So what if, as another FU to Panini, Fanatics signs an agreement with WWE to produce their cards, and they roll out cards at the same time that Panini is rolling out their products?
That sounds pretty messy.
That would be a crazy situation, but I think that would be a very interesting experiment and case study on how Topps products do directly versus Panini products. Okay, WWE and Panini at the same time. Put them together. Topps Chrome versus Prism. Which one will outsell each other? Which one will have higher secondary market values? That would be a crazy experiment if both of those came out at the same time, and I would love to see it. The antagonist in me wants to see Michael Rubin pull that power move and wants to see them do something like that. Can they do it legally? I don't know, dude.
I don't know. I mean, I see Panini do it. Obviously, they're going to have a countersuit if they already haven't, and I can see them also creating a cease and desist if something like that would happen. And that would probably be on hold by the judge until they could decide what to do.
Who knows what will happen?
It could be on hold. So like you said, we may not have any card. But if that stuff happens, and they're like, dude, we still have to finish out the cards. We've spent all this money for people to create these new products that's coming out. You can't just cut us off and then have another company start.
I could see them putting a hold on that, filing some type of injunction and putting a hold on any product comes out, because that would cause damages to Panini if it affects itself. I could see that, but wouldn't that be a crazy scenario if that happened, right? So that's an interesting point. The other thing is, I think that the other shoe is going to drop pretty soon. Either the NBA is going to terminate, or UFC is next. So these bombshells are going to drop any week now. I think.
The WWE's also owned by the same company now that owns UFC, correct?
Yeah.
Endeavor, right?
Yeah. So it only makes sense that UFC would be coming next if this is the case, which is just another. I mean, what happens to Panini after this? I don't know. Like, what's the end game here? Is the end game to run Panini out of North America? Because they're a European company, right? They make stickers. Yeah. They're a European company.
Yeah, they're mostly known for making soccer stickers and pop culture stickers.
So what is the end goal here? To run Panini completely out of North America, or to just beat them up and buy them? It'd be interesting to see. I don't know. I'm kind of fascinated by these moves, these behind the scenes business moves that are happening in the hobby right now. Because it kind of, honestly, it doesn't really affect the consumer that much, to be honest. Like, we're still going to buy the products that come out. We're still going to collect and all that stuff. But
I don't think this will help or hinder the products that are already out there by Panini and Topps and other companies in the past 20 years. Does it?
Well, as a personal collector, I would say that I do want to see more Panini products, WWE Panini products, because I think they did a great job with Immaculate, Prism, Select, all that stuff, the kabooms, the inserts that they made. I'm a big fan of it. So I am actually bummed that if they can't produce anymore, if they can't make any more of these cards, I am bummed about that. I did talk about that last week, but I'm still if they make Topps Chrome or Topps Transcendent WWE products and stuff like that, I'm still gonna buy that stuff. You know what I mean? So
Panini definitely had better inserts and variation cards than Topps.
They did a great job, especially with the photography and everything like that.
Yeah, that too. Well, they had more access to their library of photos, didn't they?
I don't know what they were doing, but whoever was on the design team for that, they definitely did a great job. And what I really liked about what they were doing is they weren't making a new product every month like they do with basketball, football, baseball, whatever, right? We got one product every 3 months or so, which spaced it out perfectly. We don't need a new drop every month, like the other sports. You know what I mean? So I liked how they spaced everything out. It was just they were doing a great job with that. Unfortunately, they had this situation now. So anyways, so that is the big update, guys. Anything else you want to add to this? We don't really have any other information.
No. I was just watching it last night, and I've been still interesting. The thing is, though, where the hell is Roman? I don't see Roman anyway. Is he
on vacation?
He's on vacation? Does that hurt the cards any?
A little bit, because, if you're not on TV, you're not relevant. A little bit, but he's going to come back. He's a champion.
Yes. And does he still own the 2 championships, even though now Seth Rollins has this made-up Raw one now?
And side note, this is not on the agenda, but let's talk about this real quick here. Since there is this strike in Hollywood, and you can give them an update on this, Merlin. I know some people.
The writer's strike ended yesterday. I know some people are already leaving in the chat room.
Asking you about that, but because they have the strike and they can't make movies and stuff, we're getting John Cena, we're getting The Rock, and pretty soon I'm sure we're going to get Batista back, which is going to be awesome.
That's as long as the SAG, Screen Actors Guild, hasn't settled, and they have not settled yet. Only the writers have settled. So they can go now into the writer's room and start writing all the new shows for the next seasons and the movies and everything. Yeah, because you don't have the actors. You got to be part of SAG to be in the writer. But you need scripts in order to have actors. So I'm glad it's working this chronological order right now. So if we can just get the actors, but I heard it's pretty messy. We need them to settle before January. If they don't settle by January, it's going to be a big hit on both ends, on both sides. And you'll still see The Rock. You'll still see John Cena and Batista in there. But once the actors settle, they're gone, man.
We're gonna get a Rock match. I can see it. They're already building it up. They're saying The Rock is going to be at the next pay-per-view, whatever that is.
Okay.
I forget whatever it's called, but they're saying that he's going to be there.
Oh, yeah. He would have had to write a contract to be in there.
So that's just a side note. I see we got a lot of comments here.
Can't breach that.
We will get to your guys' comments towards the end, so just be patient with us, but we will get to all the comments, I promise. If you guys want to speed it up, just highlight it with a super sticker and we'll answer it right away.
Yes, super sticker. We need some of those too, folks. The more interaction, the better.
Yes. On to our next topic here is the big topic. The big topic is going to be why do we collect tonight, but I'm going to talk about a different topic real quick here. Diamond hands. Okay, we've mentioned this before. Diamond hands. Diamond hands. If you never heard this term before, this basically means you got strong hands. You can hold cards for a long time. Okay, in the hobby, the term weak hands or paper hands means that if you get spooked by the market, if the price goes down, you sell your cards right away. You got paper hands. Okay, you're weak. You're weak. But if you have the slabs to hold on a card, even when the card is going down and the market is going crazy, you got what we call diamond hands, okay? Diamond hands. And the reason I bring this up here is because this perfect example of why you need to have diamond hands in the hobby, okay? Last year, I took this card on consignment. I took 2 cards on consignment. They were both Tua NFL Shield rookie cards, RPA Shield cards. Okay. They were like out of, I think they were out of 3.
When did you have these?
These were consignments from a friend of mine.
Do you have them right now, or you have?
No, I sold them last year.
Oh my God! I was like, wish you had them now.
Here's the thing: like, I might be a little bit off on these numbers, but basically last year I had 2 of these Shield RPAs of Tua, the Miami Dolphins quarterback, and at that time, nobody liked Tua. He was a dead dolphin in the water.
Yes.
Dead dolphin in the water.
How times have changed, my friend. How times have changed.
Even the people that lived in Florida, in Miami, I showed them the card. They're like, we don't like him. Even the Miami people don't like Tua, right? So anyways, I had this card. I think he had it. I think he was like $3,000 into these cards. Ended up selling them to like Burbank Sports Cards for like $1,200 or something.
Oh my gosh! I wish I had known. Oh my God, I would have taken them.
$1,500, something like that, for the Tua Shield RPAs. Okay.
Oh my gosh!
That was last year. That was last year at the end of the football season.
Oh my gosh, Dan!
Fast forward to now, Tua's like the hottest name in
dude. He's the number 1 ranked for the contending MVP.
Right. Okay. So I haven't checked his prices, but I'm sure his prices are going to be higher.
Oh, he's the hottest thing right now.
What I sold those cards for, anyway. Okay.
He's hot in the fantasy leagues. He's hot in everything.
This is why you need to have diamond hands in the hobby for this exact situation. Don't like if you have a card that is rare and you bought it, right? And if you can afford to sit on it, then just wait. Just wait, because the market is very cyclical, right? It goes in cycles, it goes up and down, and it doesn't take much for a player. If it's a current player, it doesn't take much for that current player to get hot, and then the cards are suddenly in demand. And I tell you this story because I'm watching people talk about Tua, saying how he's hot right now and how he's doing well and all this stuff. He just had a great game last week. And I just think to myself, man, I had those cards last year, and I sold that, even though they were not mine.
But you don't know. I mean, he could have floundered again.
Right.
And He's just probably one tackle away from hitting the ground and being out for the rest of the season because he's got a fragile head.
That is true. That is true. So
another concussion away, and it's over with.
To be in this game is not for the weak-hearted. Okay?
No.
This game, this hobby is not for people with paper hands. You got to have diamond hands to be in this hobby. You got to have the slabs to hold a card through an off season when everybody's taking a shit on it, and wait till the next season before you can release it, right? So that is my tip that I want to give you guys. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, there's sometimes, but again, Dan, you can't judge the future. Like I said, he could have been out. He could have had one concussion in the first game, and that could have been career ending, and he's out for the rest of his life. And now those cards are worth like $100.
I'll tell you another story.
It's just pure luck, man. It's like the stock market.
Here's the point I want to make. I feel like if you can kind of have the right perspective to have diamond hands, right? Then usually it will play out like I don't want to say usually, but if you can have diamond hands, if you can have the mentality to have diamond hands in the hobby, then you could potentially withstand a lot of storms, a lot of like bad weather in the hobby. Okay. And I'll give you another example. This is an example outside the hobby, right? With me, this is my personal example. Okay. So stocks. So I buy stocks just like a lot of people out there. I buy stocks. A few years ago, I bought GameStop stock when it was like $20. Okay. Because they paid a nice dividend. I like video games. I thought they were doing well. Then they had a bad quarter. They eliminated their dividend, which is the main reason I bought that. And the stock went from like $20 down to like $8, something like that, right? GameStop. So when they did that, I was like, oh no. So I sold my stock. I sold all of it. I had like 80.
Wait a minute, you had GameStop?
Yeah. And I had like
you had dumb money?
I had like 100 shares or something like that.
Oh my God. I just saw that movie last week too.
And I took more than 50% loss on that because they had eliminated their dividend, which is why I bought that stock. Right.
Oh.
Then I don't know how long after that, like, I don't know, a year later or whatever,
right?
Something like that. Those guys on Reddit got that stock to go way up to like, what was it, like $80 or something like that? Something like crazy.
Oh, it went higher than that too.
Like $300 or something like that. Dude, I would have made a ton of money.
Like that.
I would have made a ton of money on that.
Roaring Kitty. Is that what his name was? Roaring Kitty.
You know what's funny? That stock, I had that stock and I had AMC stock because before COVID, I had a lot of AMC stock because I loved movies and I thought they were doing well. Then COVID happened and then they went down.
And you still had it?
No, I sold it.
Oh, you sold it before it went down.
Yes.
Okay.
And then that stock blew up too. I would have made. Dude, I would have retired. I would have retired.
About the only one theater left now.
I would have retired with the money that I could have made off of GameStop and AMC. But
why did it go up a lot after COVID? After everybody started going back to theater again?
No, because of the Reddit thing that they did. It went up to like
that was another Reddit issue. Was the AMC? Oh, gotcha.
It was like
another Roaring Kitty,
and it went up to like 300, something like that. Anyways, the point is, I had those stocks. Then when those stocks went down, I cut my losses. I had the mentality, cut my losses, go on to the next thing, right? Whatever. Oh my God. If I had diamond hands, I would be very wealthy right now if I had diamond hands. So that's what I'm saying. In the hobby, it's the same way. Obviously, you never know. It can go both ways. But if you can just weather some of these initial storms, okay, then you might be able to do very well in the hobby. Okay, that's the point I want to make.
Dan had all that dumb money he could have held on to.
I could have bought a Mickey Mantle rookie card, like a PSA 6 Mickey Mantle rookie card or something like that.
A short squeeze there, man.
Wow. Man. And I think about it all the time. To be honest, I think about that a lot. Why did I sell that? You know why I sold it? Because
scared
with any type of not that you're scared, but
I would have been.
You're programmed to do certain things.
Yeah.
So like with stocks, right? Stocks, you want to be disciplined. If your stock goes down a certain percentage, you sell it and then you move on to the next one, right?
Okay.
Same
just
thing,
like you do with cards. The way
cards,
you preach with cards. Yes.
Right? Like if you set certain standards, like, oh, my card went down 30%, okay, it's time to get out, get in the next one. That's a structured way to help you be organized. But like, man, sometimes it can come back and bite you in the butt for sure. Especially in that case, and in Tua's case too. But
most definitely. Now, have you, because of this, have you changed up your strategy from these lessons learned?
Yes. I try to be more. I try to have diamond hands, and it's not easy to do it. It's not easy to hold a card when people talk bad about it, or the market goes down, or people offer you low amounts for it,
right?
Or you see comparable sales go down. It's not easy. It takes a lot of like mental fortitude to just kind of like stay on track for it. But I try my best to have diamond hands throughout this, and it helps because now I buy a lot of like one of ones, so I basically control the market on that kind of stuff. But I always think to these examples whenever I feel like I want to sell, you know what I mean? And sometimes I do. Sometimes I feel like I'm tired of holding this card, or somebody makes me feel bad about it, or whatever. We talked about this last week too. That type of like mentality. So sometimes that does get to me, and I end up trying to just move out of cards. But I just think that overall, if you can have the diamond hand strategy, then you're probably going to be better off more so than if you have paper hands and sell quickly. You know what I mean?
I do.
Okay. So, all right, let's move on to the next topic here. I want to talk, I feel like, can you give me like 30 seconds? Can I go would you mind if I let's
do it. Yeah. I'll just say hello to everybody right now.
All right. Give me a second because I'm having a great time. I need a couple more drinks here.
All right. James, man, what's up? The reason why we collect, because it is hardwired into our DNA to collect things. I guess it's human beings, but a lot of animals, I think, collect. I don't think it's just, humans in some form or way. Andrew, Dan and Merlin, what is your biggest concern and biggest threat to the hobby? The bad actors, scammers that trim cards, sell fake autos, economy, Great Recession, Great Depression, or all the above? Probably a little of the above. Don't try to get scammed. Know what you're doing. But I've never really been affected by trimmed cards. Maybe, getting scammed at the very beginning with trade cards. One time I traded with some guy, and I should have had Veriswap because I sent him like a Zion Williamson rookie, and he sent me a pack of cigarettes, and I don't smoke.
What?
Wow.
Somebody sent me a pack of cigarettes?
And I raised hell about it, and luckily I don't know how I got lucky. Oh, and a joint too in the thing. And it was like an eBay package. I was like so pissed, and I raised hell, and he actually sent me the correct card. So I don't know what happened there. Okay. But I got lucky, and I could have been stuck with a pack of cigarettes and a joint. All right. And it looked like a spliff, which I really hate because I don't like tobacco whatsoever. So I'm not going to smoke a spliff.
All right,
there we go. Okay, here he's back.
I got a fresh bottle of soju. Where's my Koreans at? They can drink with me. We need to turn Between Two Slabs into.
Yeah, where's Dick?
I think that would be great. Next month when we have Mr. Minty as our sponsor, we're going to be doing Mr. Minty drinking games. Every time we say Mr. Minty, everybody got to take a drink.
Oh my goodness! I do that when I watch 90 Day Fiance. On the newest one, when every time he says, "Yeah, look at him," when he says Misha, I don't know who watches 90 Day Fiance, but there's 3 on right now and 2 pillow talks, so that makes it 5 shows of 90 Day Fiance per week. Dan, per week.
You have time to watch 5 shows of 90 Day Fiance per week.
I do it with my loved one, with my girlfriend Maria. That's our time together. We watch dinner and watch 90 Day Fiance over dinner, and Maverick loves 90 Day.
Oh boy. Okay.
Look at him.
All right. Let me compose myself here.
Yeah, compose yourself, buddy.
Okay, guys.
They need 90 Day Fiance cards. You know what else they need? Because I passed by. Have you ever been to Pink's Hot Dogs?
Yeah.
In Hollywood?
Yeah.
Well, I drove by it last night, and it's all like blinged out. Like it's all gold. I was like, wait a minute, they redid it gold and there's like gold flowers. And I'm like, what the heck's going on here? And I noticed it said the Golden Bachelor. They remade it to look, I guess, to promote the new show Golden Bachelor. I guess it's the old version, old people's version of The Bachelor.
Okay.
I don't know if you watching that. My girlfriend watches The Bachelor. I don't know if you're watching the Golden Bachelor. But they need cards of The Bachelor. It's what been on for like 25 seasons now or 30 seasons. They need to make cards of The Bachelor and Bachelorette. And Bachelor in Paradise. Some autograph cards. Yeah. But wouldn't you like to see some, 7-year-olds getting it on into the, one stud guy who's with, shacking up with 3 golden ladies?
Would I like to see that? No, that's not in my search terms. No.
See them in their bikini thongs?
Okay, let's move on. Okay? Let's move on before we lose our sponsorships.
Ooh.
Okay.
Hey, they're probably like my age, so I can't complain.
So let's talk about the next topic here. The big topic of the night. So last week I was doing a show. I appeared as a special guest on our a friend of the pod, Rob, Sports Card Therapist. If you haven't checked out his pod, go check him out. Great guy, great pod.
Mm-hmm.
He talks about all sorts of stuff, mainly into vintage, but he talks about all sorts of stuff. Just a really cool dude and a friend of the show and a friend of mine.
Yeah, we got a really great time meeting him at the National and spending some time with him, and that was very, it's a great gift.
So, I was on a guest on a show. Okay, so go check out that episode if you guys want. And
it's on his channel, correct?
It's on his channel. And he mentioned towards the end or something like that, he mentioned this thing about we were talking about card values. And he said, I hope the card values go down because I want to buy more cards. I want to buy the cards that are on my list that I want to collect. So I hope the value of these cards will go down. And how many times have you heard that from people in the hobby that say, I hope the value of cards go down because I want to buy the cards that I want, right? It's a common thing that
kind of like a hedge card, so to speak. What would you call that, right?
Well, I don't know. The reason I'm bringing this up is I think to myself a lot. I have this conversation with myself all the time.
Yeah.
Why do I want this particular card? Right? Why do I want for example, let's use a 1952 Mickey Mantle, for example. Okay, 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle, which is considered the holy grail of many
all the sports cards
in the hobby, right? Everybody knows this card, even though many people that are in the hobby today have never seen Mickey Mantle play, have never seen a Mickey Mantle highlight. They want this card because it's considered the holy grail, right? For many
most of the people collecting now are probably weren't even he wasn't even alive when they were born.
Yes, so Mickey Mantle PSA 1 is $30,000. It hovers between $25,000 and $30,000 for a PSA 1. Okay?
So the lowest grade would cost you $30,000. Right.
Yes.
Whew.
And everybody says they want this card, but why do they want this card? Is it because it looks cool, right? People say it looks great. It's a great design. Is it because of that? Is it because it's Mickey Mantle's rookie? Well, he's got 3 rookies technically.
Yep, technically.
Okay. Is it because it's their favorite player, or is it because the card is worth a lot of money, right? Do we collect? Why do we collect certain cards? And I'm not talking about base cards or cards of your favorite player or really interesting cards, but I'm talking about all the common cards that are out there that everybody mentions that they want. The 52 Mickey Mantle Topps, the 86 Jordan Fleer, the LeBron James Topps Chrome 2003, right? Why do people all want those cards? Is it because they're just the best cards in the world, or is it because of the value that is associated with the cards, right? So when people say, I hope the card value goes down because I want to buy that card, is it because you really want that card and you can't afford it? Or is it because that card is really valuable and you want it to go down so you can buy it at your entry point, but you're hoping that it will go up to wherever value you think it's worth, right? and I give you this, let me pose a hypothetical to you here, okay? And I want the people in the comments here, please give me your thoughts on this. We're playing hypotheticals here. So 1952 Mickey Mantle, like I said, PSA 1 hovers between $25,000 to $30,000. Pop count on that is like 325 something.
Okay.
Like that, PSA 1. What happens? Okay, if and let me also say that there are two other Mickey Mantle rookies. There's a 51 Bowman, I think.
Yes, there is.
And there's a 52 Bowman.
Yep.
That are worth like $5,000 PSA 1s.
That's crazy.
Okay, compared to the 52 tops. What happens if, let's just say that some diver was in the ocean and they found the box of 52 mantle cards that was supposedly thrown in the ocean because nobody wanted them. They found this box that somehow it survived. It was in an airtight container, and they bring this box up, and you had 20,000 Mickey Mantle cards in various conditions in there, and they had a little bit of damage. So you pulled them out and they graded all of them, and suddenly the pop count for a 52 mantle went from 325 to 15,000. Okay. And because of the pop count increasing, the supply overtook the demand for the card, and the value of that card went from $25,000 down to $800. Okay. $800. Would you still want that card, or would you want to get the 51 Bowman or the 52 Bowman, which still had a pop count at about 325, and the price went from $5,000 to suddenly $25,000? What would you want to do? What do you think would happen, Merlin?
Well, oh my God, it's so hard. It's such a hypothetical. I don't think it would change that much, believe it or not, because of the demand and the popularity and the legend of Mickey Mantle, of those cards.
You don't think the 51 Bowman or the 52 Bowman would become the new chase card?
They'd probably equal out, because look how much different. I don't even think it would equal out, because why is the Bowman so different in price, like so much lower to begin with?
Because I think it's because the narrative is the 52 tops is his rookie card.
Okay.
That is the card that everybody wants. And because that is the card that everybody wants, the value of that card has risen significantly because of the demand versus the supply. But what I'm saying is that what happens if the supply overtakes the demand? And that $25,000 card that is your dream card is now $800. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm just going to be kind of stubborn on this, and I think it'll drop a little, but not much, because I think it'll just bring the hype up more to that card, and more people will have access to it and still want it. Yeah, I think it'll still be in high demand.
The demand never changes for that card. The hypotheticals I'm saying here is, do people want cards because they just want the card?
Yes.
Or do they want the card because it has value?
Well, there's those people too.
Okay.
But I think I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to our viewers and listeners. I think they just want that card. They want that mantle. It's such a legendary card.
I think, let me use another example. Okay. I think let me just tell you my theory on this. I think people want cards because they're valuable. That is why. That is part of collecting. Whether you want to acknowledge it or not, the value of the card makes you want it more. Okay?
You really think so?
Yes. Okay. And I'll give you another example. 1996 Kobe Bryant rookie card, Topps rookie card. Did you know that there are 4 variations, I think? Okay. 4 variations to this rookie card. There's the paper version.
Right.
There's the foil NBA 50 version.
Mm-hmm.
There's the chrome version, and there's the chrome refractor version. Okay. 4 versions of that. Same card, same picture. The only difference is the finish. All right. Mm-hmm. And as you can guess, the paper has the highest pop count, then the chrome, then the foil, and then the refractor. All right. What do you think that people want the most? And they all have the same. All have price points in accordance with their pop counts.
Probably the chrome refractor.
They want the chrome refractor. Why? Is it because it's a chrome refractor, or is it because it's worth the most money? It's the same picture, okay? In fact, the chrome card and the 1975
Well,
card,
yeah, but we're speaking of modern times, though, whereas there's only one mantle card.
no, there's 3 mantle cards.
Well, I'm talking about for the
For
Topps
rookie
card,
card,
there is. There's
right?
not different variations.
Like, why do you want, so again, like, why do they want that mantle card over the other 2 mantle cards? Is it because
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just
because it's a
saying most
rookie?
people.
there are 3 rookies? It's because the narrative has chosen that card as the card to get, and because of that, it's worth a lot of money. Okay, and it's been like that for like 30 years now. It's been like worth a lot of money for 30 years.
Yeah, why is it more than the 51 Bowman when it came out the year before? I feel like
Because the narrative is that is his rookie card, right? That is a rookie card. All those cards are similar in appearance to me. They all are like portrait cards of Mickey Mantle. They're all like artwork. It's not an actual photo of him playing. It's just artwork. Just just like that one has been chosen as the one that everybody wants, but it has the value associated with that. So, anyways, what I'm saying is like when Rob said that to me, it just kind of got me thinking, like, do people really want cards because they want these cards in their collection, or is it because the value associated with this card? And you can choose any type of card. You can choose the Jordan rookie, the George Mikan Bowman rookie that everybody like. That's another thing, right? Okay. George Mikan Bowman, 1948, I think his rookie.
Okay.
How many people care at all about George Mikan? How many people care about him at all? How many people even know who George Mikan is? Like, the Lakers haven't even individually retired his number.
What?
On the Raptors. They retired him in like a group of Minneapolis Lakers.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he played when he was in the Midwest with the Lakers.
There's like 10 numbers that they put on one banner, but they haven't even retired his number individually.
Well, that's crazy.
Nobody cares about George Mikan except for me. I actually care about him. But
okay, why do you care about him? Is he like family to you?
Because I'm a Lakers historian. I love the Lakers. I have a Michael.
Even back when they were in Minneapolis.
If you test me right now, Merlin, I will go down to my basement. I will pull my George Mikan autographed jersey. I have one.
What?
Okay, I have one that I'll pull out right now if you test me. But don't test me because I don't want to go get it. But
this is a whole nother story. I didn't know about your George Mikan infatuation.
Nobody cares about him at all. But his 1948 Bowman, I think, is worth a lot of money. It's worth a ridiculous amount of money compared to all his other cards or anything.
And why is that?
Remember,
of course, we're all wondering why.
Why is that? Why do people want that card? Exactly. It's because it's worth a lot of money for some reason, right?
How did that start? Do you even know?
I don't know.
How'd the hype begin?
I don't know. But if you ask any like vintage basketball collector, they're going to want the 48 Bowman.
And then is that the biggest star out of that set?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. Okay. I don't know because it's not on my list of cards that I want to get.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that card is worth a lot of money. All right. I'm sure we have some vintage guys in the chat right now that can tell us what is a PSA 1 of that worth. I don't know. Tell me. Adrian, if you're still in the chat, Adrian, tell me.
Adrian, he'll know.
Okay, what is a PSA 1 George Mikan rookie card worth?
I am dying to know.
But people, the vintage collectors will buy that, and that card is still very desirable, still very liquid.
Is it the number 1 card, or is it a different numbered card?
I don't know. I don't know anything about it. All I know is that card is worth a lot of money, and people want it. And my theory is that people want it because it's worth money. Not because they care anything about George Mikan at all. My God, look at me! I'm so red, dude. I got.
You need to take those. What's those tablets?
I don't know if it's a soju that's getting me red right now, or if this conversation is getting fiery.
I think it's a little both.
I got my blood flowing up to it, but I'm feeling it, guys. I'm feeling it. So
Maria uses a patch now. She doesn't eat the tablets anymore.
I never seen that before, but
I'll have to give you some the next time I see you.
So, anyways, I just think that's an interesting. My observation.
That's great. I'm going to do some research tonight after the show.
My observation is, I think people want cards because they have value. You know what I mean?
Well, that's true, but I just think that Mantle is such legendary. You want to own it. You would own it. It doesn't matter if it's a 1, a 10, or altered. You can. It doesn't. A Mickey Mantle doesn't matter what year I have the card. Doesn't matter the grade. When I put that in a case, it doesn't even last half a day in the case.
My point exactly. It has a high demand because it has good value to it. Okay, but if you had a whole case of these,
there's people though proud, but if
I give you
you'd rather own, say there's a same. Let's say they're the same price. This George Mikan card and a Mickey Mantle card. Doesn't even matter what year the Mickey Mantle card is. The same price as George Mikan. People are going to take that Mickey Mantle first because it's Mickey Mantle. True or false?
Yes, if they're the same price. True.
Yes.
Okay, but I don't think that's a good example of what we're talking about.
I know that, but I'm just saying.
Let me use a better example.
Okay.
Same price. Okay. Let me use a better example here.
Okay.
51 Mickey Mantle Bowman. That's worth, like, let's just say it's worth $20,000.
Okay.
Okay. And Mickey Mantle 52 tops. Let's just say it's worth $10,000. And you have one person that has, and you're going to give them that price. You know, you're going to give them the same price on both cards. What card are they going to buy? They're going to buy the more expensive card.
You think so?
Yes, I know so.
Because, okay.
I know so because, I mean, that's why they want it. They want it because it's worth a lot of money. That's what I think, right? But my point about this, and there's nothing bad about that, right? We all want high dollar value collections, right? We want.
But people have these cards too to also display, and if that's all they're collecting, say we know a lot of people who like just baseball, who just like football or whatever their sport, or just basketball, and they rather just have whatever genre of sport or non-sport they're.
Pick any card you want. My point is that the reason when people say I want card values to go down so that I can buy the card.
Well, no, I understand that. Yeah, I understand that point.
It's because those cards have value. If those cards continuously went down, I doubt people would really be caring about those cards as much as they do. You know what I mean? Okay, right. You can pick any card you want, throw it in that category. I think that all the iconic cards that people always talk about in every collection, they're there because they're worth a lot of money. That's why people want it.
No, man, I understand that point. I understand Rob's point.
Yeah. Because if you can get that card, it's a flex. I have this card. You know what I mean?
So you're thinking Rob, sports card therapist, just wants some of these cards to more than invest in than just to own and have diamond hands on them.
I'm not trying to single him out because I hear say this. This was just brought up during our conversation in his podcast, which, by the way, guys, check it out on his website.
Yeah, check him out.
But like, therapist. You know, that's why people want these cards because they're worth money. You know what I mean? The same way, like if you really wanted that card, you could buy a reprint. You know, and you could have that card in your collection, but you're not going to want the reprint because it's not worth any money.
I don't know, but some of those Mantle reprints of the 52 tops cost more than those Bowman cards.
No, don't say that. Is that true?
Yes. There's some from the 90s, huh?
The reprints.
Yes, they're expensive. More than the original. Yeah, I've seen some listed. I'm like, yes.
Somebody fact check that for me because I would be very interested to see if the reprint. No, I'm not talking about the 90s refractors.
Okay. Well, that's what I was talking about then.
They make chrome versions in the 90s.
Yes. That's what I was. That's what I'm referring to.
Like, if you really want
that, but that's still, to me, that's still considered a reprint.
But it's
just a remake.
No, I'm talking about like a reprint of the original 52 paper, not chrome.
No.
So, anyways, I lost track.
That should be like a revamped version. No, you're still. You're still on the same path, dude.
I lost track of what I was saying, but. Anyways, I think whether we want to acknowledge it or not, the value of our cards definitely plays a role in how we collect, for sure. You know, that's why, like, another example of this is the parallel situation that we have right now, right? Every card that comes out, every modern card is a base card and it has a numbered parallel to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same card, just a different border color, essentially, right?
Yes.
But why do we always chase the low numbered cards? Because those cards are valuable.
Numbered. Yeah, it's
the same exact card as the base card.
Mm-hmm.
But we throw away the base card most of the time. We don't want it. It's junk.
No.
but we all want to chase an out of 10, an out of 5, a 1 of 1, whatever it is. But they're mostly the same card, essentially. And that has to do with the value. Okay. And same thing with like grades too. Like we could have a PSA 1 or we could have a PSA 10. Same card, but they look the same, but the value is substantially different between a 1 and 10. We always want to go with the highest number because we want to have the highest value card. And we also want to be the one that has that card over other people.
Gotcha.
The low number exclusiveness of that card that plays into our world collecting. So to sum up my point on this discussion, and then we can get to mail days unless you want to add anything, is I think that the role that plays into why we collect what we do is the value and the exclusiveness of these cards that we're getting, right? We want the card because it's worth a lot of money. And even if we don't necessarily care about the money ourselves, we want to know that we have the highest value one out there.
I gotcha. Okay,
like
that makes sense.
So like a flex.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anything else you want to add to that?
No, man. When you look at your stuff, your collectibles, I mean, what's the first thing that strikes your mind? Do you think, oh, that's the card, that's a piece of art or card I really like? This is something, I like it because of this player or this character? Or do you think about how much it's valued at first?
For cards?
Yeah.
Think about the value.
Do you think when people are at card shows, that's what they're mostly talking about?
Yes. For cards, I definitely think of the value about like, man, I built this collection. It's worth a lot of money. It's really cool. It's really exclusive. If I look at other collectibles like toys, for example, toys are not worth a lot of money right now. So I just think, oh, that's cool. I love having these different toys in my collection, and they have sentimental value to me and things like that. But for cards, definitely the value is what stands out the most in this current market, I think, for most of my stuff. Okay, for most of my stuff, I do have cards that are worth like $10 that I love, and I have them on display, but they're not like the first thing that I show off if I was showing off my collection.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right, so let's get into mail days. I got to plug in my laptop real quick, so let me just disappear.
Dan,
you can start with the mail days.
All right, guys, I just got this. And remember, last week I showed you I got these Prince cards from one of our collectors, Todd from Dallas, gave me these Hostess cards. Well, I got another one that I got graded from Hostess. I think it's like the same. No, it's a year before. I guess I didn't realize I used to eat Hostess all the time, cupcakes and everything, but I didn't know they made all these cards. Anyway, wasn't my favorite band in the 80s. I wasn't really into heavy metal and glam rock until until it became nostalgia. And I got this 1987 Hostess. Got it back today. Motley. Gosh, can you see that? Can you tell who it is? Oh, guys, it's upside down. Sorry.
Merlin's drunk.
Oh, no. I was just testing you, Dan, to see if you were drunk or not. Look at his red, rosy cheeks.
Wait a minute. This is my arm.
Anyway, that's Motley Crue. Look at her beautiful hair. And it got a PSA 9, man. Look at that backstage sticker. Motley Crue 1987 Hostess. Look on the back there. And then says Motley Crue Collector One Piece. Pretty cool. And then here is a Type 1 photo as well. That's from 1984. It says Vince Neil, who's the lead singer. This is freaking cool. I bought this one not because of the value, just because you can see why I bought this photo, dude. Look at that. Oh my goodness. There he is at the Forum. He's hanging out. He's going to see Quiet Riot in concert. And he took a nice picture and grabbed his junk and sticking his tongue out. How about that?
That's cool.
Type 1 photo. And then I don't know what this is, but this is pretty cool too. I don't know if it's Type 1 or Type 3, but this came from Disneyland, Dan. See the stamp on the back from 1955. And is that when Disneyland opened up in 55?
Yes.
But you probably tell who that is.
James Dean?
Yeah, James Dean. And this is cool. I didn't know they made these like portrait shots of players. And then the last one here is another Type 1 There's the stamp on it, the DNA, the photography, and everything. This is from 1970. And you know who that is?
Yeah. Ray Charles.
Ray Charles, because my post office is named after Ray Charles here. So I thought that was pretty cool. So there you go. There's my mail day for the day. Dan,
Okay,
your turn.
so I got a couple of PSA submissions back. I'm only going to show you one of them.
Okay.
It is my Bret Hart
Woo!
Black 101. This is a beauty, guys. This card, I picked this up at Burbank Sports Cards. So even though I didn't
show, right?
That show, I was able to pick this up. So I got this back. This is a PSA 9, graded PSA 9. This was actually a BGS 8.
That was it?
8.5, I think.
I thought so. Oh, my
and
goodness.
I got it graded, and it came back up PSA 9. So very happy about that. And then I
bought that from the Clark boys.
Yes, I did. Shout out to them. And then I did. You remember when I sent you or showed you those Stan Lee type photos that I got from one? So I sent them to PSA.
Really cool.
I got them back today. So one of them was this Spider-Man photo. This came back a Type 3 photo, which is cool with me, you know.
That is so cool because it's kind of like animated, but it's not. But it's a photo. I wonder how they did that. Did they explain it or
I think
anything?
it's from the animated one. I don't know, but this is from 1960. Okay,
it's pretty cool. It looks better than the animated, I think.
So got that. So check it out. Got this cool. This is a Type 3 photo of Stan Lee.
There he is. Look at the player. Wow.
Type 3, Stan Lee with the beard, no glasses. Type 3 photos. Also,
it's a really nice photo. I like the art of it.
60. And then the big one that I got back was this 1960s Stan Lee. This is Type 1. This came back a Type 1 photo of Stan Lee. And I might be the only person that has a Stan Lee Type 1 photo of him.
What year is that?
Without his glasses or mustache. This is circa 1960s.
Wow.
On this one here, right there, 1960s. Yeah.
Well, that's cool that they know it's a Type 1.
So pretty cool. I got that back. I'm pretty happy. Okay, so that is it for the mail days. Let's get to. We're running a little bit behind here, so let's get to comment section here. I know a lot of people have been patiently waiting.
Yes, thank you guys.
Here. So
thank you.
Okay, which one did you leave off
at? Let's go to Andrew, where it says, Dan Merlin, what's your biggest concern and trends of the hobby? I'll hit it. Whoops. There you go. Got it. That one right there. Let's go back to it. Andrew said, Dan and Merlin, what is your biggest concern and biggest threat to the hobby? The bad actors, scammers that trim cards, the sell fake autos, economy, Great Recession, Great Depression, or all of the above?
Interesting question, Andrew. Well, I would not say it's the recession or depression or whatever you want to call it, because the hobby has survived all that. The hobby has been around since the 40s. Even before that, they were making cards back in like 1800s, the late 1800s. They were making cards, collectible cards. So the hobby will endure no matter whatever the economy says. Okay, so I'm not worried about that. Bad actors, yes, I definitely am concerned about bad actors. And when I say bad actors, I do mean scammers, people who sell fake cards, people who steal things, criminals, basically. I think that is a big concern. But I think that is always going to be like the major concern, okay, overall. But I think in our current state of the hobby, the things that we have to worry about are two things. Number one is how we present the hobby to the world, okay? Right. And I think right now there is a big emphasis on the gambling aspect of the hobby being the front-facing part of the world, of how the world sees us, right? The card father, Burbank Sports Card, Rob, the card father, always talks about this, so I'm going to give him credit for that. But he always talks about how breaking should not, and the casino aspect, his words, and the gambling part of it should not be presented as how the hobby should grow. We should not grow that side of the hobby and bring people in for that reason. I think that's that can be a problem if we get too many people involved where they think that, okay, I can buy into this break for $50 and I can get a card for $500 and I can immediately turn it and sell it and make a profit. That's gambling, essentially, you know? So I think that has definitely become a basically the main selling point of the hobby the last 3 years or so is basically profit. How much profit can you make doing this, you know? And we know that that's not really what the hobby is about. People that are in the hobby know that that's part of it, and that serves a purpose, but it is not the whole idea of the hobby. The whole idea of the hobby should be about collecting, right? Essentially, that's what this is. So I think that is a big concern that we're facing right now, because that is where a lot of the marketing dollars are being spent to bring people in, especially fanatics. They have made it clear that that is what they want to emphasize. The other part of that, the other thing that I think we have to be concerned about is the content that is being produced within the hobby. So content in this day and age, social media content is what really drives everything. It's what people see every day. It's the first impression that people get when they go on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, any social media platform. They always see the type of content that's going out there. New people that are coming into the hobby, the way they get acclimated or onboarded into the hobby is through the content that they consume. And there's really great content out there, like Sports Card Investor. He has a lot of entry-level content for people coming into the hobby. Even a lot of my early videos, I have a lot of entry-level content. But then there's also a lot of really bad negative content. And I've spoken about this many times. The watchdogs, the so-called watchdogs. And I'm going to talk shit about these guys. I'm pretty soon I'm not going to hold back on these guys. And they know who they are, because I know that they watch this show too. All right. The type of content that people are producing where they're just negative and you're just always talking shit about this person, talking bad about this person, highlighting why the hobby market is down, highlighting who they don't like, all these negative things. If these are the things that somebody sees the first time that they come into the hobby while they're doing research, this is not a good look, guys. Okay. This is not a good look. Now, this is not to be confused with the content about the bad actors. Guys like card porn, you know, definitely they need a whole bunch of videos made about them. Guys like the guy who was trimming cards, the guy who was selling fake Jordan cards, all these guys that are actually doing criminal activity, that type of content is needed to educate people.
That's true.
But the hit pieces that I see put out there against myself, Jeff Wilson, Sports Card Investor, all these other guys, the people that just take crazy shots at innocent people trying to drag their names through the mud, the people that are just trying to like make fun of people for losing money and things like that. I think that all that content is trash. And I think that unfortunately, that becomes what shows up in the search engines when people are trying to research the hobby for the first time. And I do think that is a threat to the hobby, which I don't know if there's anything that can be done about it. Those people will never stop making that type of content because that is easy content to make. It is easy to talk shit about people. Okay. It's very hard to be creative and entertain people and be positive, but it is very easy to be negative and talk shit about people. I could do it all day long. We could have a 5-hour podcast where we just talk shit about people all day long, and we'd be the #1 podcast in the hobby. Believe me. But we don't.
That's why news doesn't just talk about like good stuff. Otherwise, people would be bored. They wouldn't watch it. But you still have to tell the truth. You need your receipts. If you just start lambasting people for no reason, don't have any proof, you're going to really hurt people and not only hurt those people, but the community as well.
Go look at the news. How much of the news is positive?
It's not much.
How much is it? So these guys,
they know no one would watch.
Yeah. So these guys, so that's why it's lazy content. So, you know, I think about that a lot. And the only thing that I think that can be done about that part is people like myself have to continue to make more content. Okay. We have to, for every negative piece of content out there, I have to make 10 pieces of positive content, me and everybody else out there that does similar things like that, so that we can drown it out and push it down on the search list. And hopefully that's not the first thing that people discover when they jump into the hobby, because that would definitely be a turn off to anybody for sure. Okay. So hopefully that answers your question, Andrew. Very, very, very good question. Thank you for that.
Thanks, Andrew. Zub Chili, hello. Mark the Collector, happy Tuesday, party people. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Vintage Lord Canada, Merlin, is the strike ending soon? The writer strike ended yesterday, Vintage Lord, and the SAG, Screen Actors Guild, is still going on as we speak. So hopefully, but that is the much messier one. But at least the writers can get back into the writing room and start writing the scripts for the new TV shows for the new season and the new movies coming out. So they need that in that order. Actually, you need the scripts before you need the actors. So hopefully the actors can settle soon. They need to settle before January, before the shit hits the fan. Charles, what's up, Charles? Oh, we were back. What happened there?
The only thing I care about is
What?
season 2 of House of Dragon. That's what I need. Okay, those are the only. Those
That'll
are the
be a
only
while.
I need to go back to work.
Well, I don't know who you watched. Did you watch Winning Time? It was great, but because of the SAG strike, they had to cancel it after 2 seasons. It wasn't because no one was watching. It was because of all those actors and the contracts and everything. And because of the strike, they weren't able to, not going to be able to get these actors back on and the crew and everything to sync up. And so they had to wrap it up, and they had to create a fake ending and do all the resolution, where it says, oh, what are you doing now? What's Magic doing now? And Larry Bird and how many titles, which sucked because I really liked the show.
One show that I just started watching.
What's that?
Is Continental. So
I've been seeing the stuff. I've been getting that blasted on my TV. And
I just got through half the episode. I couldn't watch the whole thing. But
did you watch Invasion? Everybody's been telling me to watch Invasion. I haven't seen
about
it.
Aliens.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess it's another Apple TV show.
Okay, let's save this for next week because we need to talk about those aliens that came out of Mexico, dude.
What?
Okay.
When today?
No, they came out last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever.
Okay.
We'll save that topic for next week. Okay.
I haven't heard much about them.
Let's go next one.
Charles, what do you know about that, Charles? Let me know. What's up, guys? Been a while. Finally caught up a live stream. And Charles is in Vegas. Maybe he knows about the aliens. Merleworld Cards Canada. There we are. Rest in peace, Brooks Robinson. Yes, he passed away today. What was he, 86 or something? He was up there.
I did not know that, but
Baltimore Orioles.
Interesting thing about Brooks Robinson, I know a lot about classic baseball guys.
Mm-hmm.
He had a really cool nickname. His nickname was the Human Vacuum Cleaner because he was a Gold Glove winning third baseman and nothing got by him. And can you imagine having to sign that inscription every time? The Human Vacuum Cleaner. I mean, that must have cramped up your hand after the first 100 seconds.
Oh, hey, man. Yeah. I had a date called that, but I never knew why until, okay. Pittsburgh. Good evening, gents. Good evening, Anthony, the sports card professor. Good evening. What's up, Orist? Merleworld Cards Canada. There we are. All right, Danny boy. Let's do some shots.
Let's do it.
Dang, you were going off on these tonight. You were downing them, but you're now turning. You're starting to get color again.
Yeah. I'm starting to.
The red's going away.
I'm starting to fade out here. Okay. I was feeling good.
You still look like you're feeling good.
It was a good day today, and I'm just in a great mood.
He's like Ice Cube.
Tuesday nights hanging out with you guys is always a great time. I'm screening some of these comments.
I know. I see some are funny. I don't care. Bacon barrel roll. How's it going, fellas? What's up, buddy? Good to see you again. Emmanuel, keep the hobby news coming, guys. Thank you, buddy. Who we got? Merleworld Cards Canada. Rules are being broken. Power Bomb Ruben. Panini and the World Wildlife Hippies and get WWF back in wrestling. Andrew, Jade Cargill signed with WWE, announced earlier on ESPN. That was funny because, when I was at the Burbank Card Show, our friend Don, who also has lots of wrestling cards, and he rolled his eyes to me and he's like, dude, I made a bad investment with her. But now Don could say differently now because he was buying all those AEW Upper Deck autograph cards of her.
Here is my hot take on this, on Jade Cargill.
What is it?
I think she's going to be a bust.
What?
I think she's going to be a bust in WWE, okay? Because they are hyping her up way too damn much. She's going to come in. She's not going to go through NXT. She's not going to learn how to do how to do it the WWE way.
Right. A little development.
She's gonna come out, and I don't think she's gonna be good. I
Well,
think
she's gonna do like a crossover, kind of like Dominique Kaz and Becky is right now, right?
I haven't seen her. Okay, I haven't seen her do much, to be honest, but I did see her early on, and I think her mic skills are pretty weak. I think her ring work is probably subpar, and I don't think she's gonna hang. She's gonna be able to hang with girls like Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, Bianca, anything like that. You know?
I bet she comes in with the new Hurt Business.
I mean, I don't know, but then if she comes in with the Hurt Business, then she's not going to be the main attraction. You know what I mean? They're pumping her up like she's going to be the biggest thing, like Cody Rhodes.
Well, you know what? She has a lot of charisma. She's a beautiful woman. She has a beautiful face. She has a lot of presence. So it's going to be a lot easier, I think, for her. But she has to.
What's the difference between her and Bianca Belair? You know,
she's way prettier than Bianca. I love Bianca. Bianca's a better wrestler, of course, definitely, way better, hands down. But Jade has that look that looks like a star.
We will see what happens, but I think
Jade looks like
they are hyping her up way too much, and I don't know if she's going to be able to handle all that pressure. You know what I mean?
Maybe not. I mean, she almost was freaking out already. She was going to quit for good, they said. And then she came back, for 2 AEW matches and then left and then changed ship to WWE. The Sports Card Professor 7, Paul L. suggested that the alleged breach by Panini by WWE may have occurred in 22 over not delivering on digital cards. Wow. That's the loophole.
Whatever. You know, I mean, like that. I mean,
I think I saw that list.
That's not the real reason that they wanted to get out of it, but that's the loophole that they found.
That's like when you date someone and she's just trying to find an excuse to get rid of you.
I know, right?
Not that it happened to me.
It's not you, it's me, guys.
No, but she just said, it's just something weird. Like, really? That's what you're breaking up over me about? Really? Because she's just trying to find an excuse. I need the sports card therapist for that one. The Sports Card Professor 7. Some in the hobby have said that Panini for next month release does not have WWE on the list, but is accepting orders. Interesting.
You know, if I'm Panini, okay, let me put on my crisis management hat, okay? I am the CEO of Panini because I know that they watch this podcast, obviously. All right. If I'm Panini and Fanatics is trying to screw me over at every corner, if the contracts I have with the NFL, NBA, WWE, possibly UFC, if they're all trying to get out of their contracts, you know what I'm saying to them? I'm going to give them 2 stone cold, FUs, and I'm going to say, screw it. I'm releasing everything. I don't care about what these guys are saying. You want to sue me, I will counter sue you, whatever. I'm going to release everything all at once, and just clear.
I know you said that many times, Dan.
Clear the warehouse, whatever we have in the warehouse, release it out there, put it out there, just make the money, okay? And then let these idiots sue me and try to collect money off of me for years to come, whatever, because it just seems like everybody is against Panini right now. Panini has no friends in the industry. And there's no reason for them to play by the rules. They should just say screw it and start making these things and releasing these cards and doing whatever they can to make money.
That might be the cards to get. They could be the hardest ones to find later down the years. Merleworld Cards Canada, Topps versus Panini. Hell on the Cell match at WrestleMania.
We need to see. Remember the days when in the 90s when like Upper Deck was making baseball cards, Topps was making baseball cards, whatever else was out there, Skybox, Flair, whatever.
Oh my God, of course. They were all their own brand.
Like we need to go back to that. I don't like exclusive licenses. I don't like exclusive licenses. I want all the cards out there, and I'll buy the ones that I like. You know what I mean? I want the brands that I like to collect. And I don't mind if it's one company, Panini over Topps, over Upper Deck or whatever. Just let them all make the cards, whatever, make the money, and then the hobby will pick the ones we like the best.
Mm-hmm. Mark the Collector. Let's go WWE Superfractor versus WWE Black Prism Panini eBay Wars.
Ooh, I'll take the Superfractor over the Black Prism.
Oh, you will? Why?
Because I like
there
gold.
2 Black Prisms each?
I like gold better.
Okay. Andrew, what are your thoughts on Leaf? Ari Lehman, Jason Voorhees, yes, as a boy in the old school Friday the 13th movies, autographs were fake. He never signed them. Heard Al Pacino Leaf autos didn't pass PSA in 22 either. Wow. I did not know that.
I think the reason why they're having problems is because they use sticker autos. Get rid of sticker autos,
Yes.
okay? We don't know. They're not witnessing these stickers being signed. There's too many of them. They don't look good. They need to just get rid of all that stuff, and then we won't have this problem as much.
Why would Ari Lehman even be fake ones of all people?
Exactly. Well,
I saw him at the Hollywood show. He was set up near me.
Maybe they sent it to the wrong address, and the guy took the money.
Another Lehman?
Some
I know
guy,
Mark Lehman, maybe he signed them.
You know, sometimes they say that they're like family members signed these autographs for them or whatever it is. But it's because they're sticker autos. You know what I mean? Like there's too many damn sticker autos out there. So just get rid of them. That's the problem. And Leaf shouldn't be having sticker autos anyways, guys. You know, Leaf, if anything, should be having on-card autos.
I know they need to hire in where they can have on-card autos for sure. John Holt, love this show. Thank you, John. You always do, and I can always depend on you, buddy. Thank you. The Sports Card Professor 7, do you think in making an effort to run them out of North America, it is really to make them sell their North American division?
Probably. I mean, you know, like, yeah, definitely. You know, you always want to – that's what happens with Topps. Topps was – remember, guys, let me give you a little bit of a hobby recent history here. Topps was set to IPO. They were set to go public and sell themselves as a stock.
And when was this?
2021, I think.
Oh, that recent.
And they were going to do it through a SPAC situation. And they were valued at like $1 billion or something like that. And then they lost the license to NFL and NBA, right? Or they lost the license.
That was like 10 years ago.
They lost the license to baseball. And when they lost the license to baseball, their valuation was cut like more than half. And Fanatics came in and bought them, 10 cents on the dollar or something like that. They canceled the IPO because they had no more value, and Fanatics came in and bought them. That's what happened. So I would not be surprised if that's what they're trying to do with Panini, and Panini's fighting it.
Bleed them out.
Trying to buy them.
But again, you got to remember these people, these companies aren't interested in the hobby. They're interested in making money, right? So they're gonna. These guys are sharks, just like these hedge fund guys or whatever these stock guys are.
Panini has value. Panini has intellectual property that is worth value. The brands are worth the most money. Immaculate, Flawless, National Treasure. Those brands are worth a lot of money. Plus the infrastructure that they have set up in America. Offices, employees, distribution, all that crap. It's worth money. So I would not be surprised if that's what Fanatics' end game is, to basically lower their valuation as much as possible so that they can buy them pennies on the dollar. As I understand it, through the rumors, they were negotiating something with Fanatics prior to this, and they pissed Fanatics off. They were supposedly using inflated numbers to get the price up to either sell their license to them or sell their company to them. And Fanatics got pissed off, and now they're doing all these things. And you can see that it's super petty, but it is like corporate warfare on the highest level.
Oh, most definitely. Right? You're giving a good example of this for sure. Wow. Just sharks, man. Charles, I want to see the Miz versus Cena versus The Rock. LOL.
That'd be awesome.
Or how about Cena versus The Rock versus Batista? Three old guys.
Who would Batista rival? If he was going to come back, who would he take on? I wonder. I like Batista. He's one of my favorites.
Just the three old guys now. Marvelous cards, nostalgic vibes and collectibles. Risky with QBs though. Could easily get hurt again and lots of risk. He's talking about Tua, but for sure it's usually better to wait a little instead of selling for peanuts. Andrew, diamond hands for curtain players. Vintage goats are already proving. Yeah, you don't need really diamond hands for vintage guys. Marvelous. If your entry price is super low and the risk is super low, then it's worth the play. Well, true. Adrian, here he is. CV Sports Cards. Pray for me. I have over 15 Kawhi rookies waiting for my diamond hands moment next year. Good luck, man. Yeah, I let go of a lot of my Nikola Jokic's. I should have had more diamond hands on those too. Whew. Andrew, since you're bringing up stocks, what do you like long-term? Technology like Microsoft and Apple? AI stocks? Health stocks? Damn.
Well, I have to be careful about this because there's a lot of idiots out there that will rely on anything people say online and then try to blame them later
put
on.
your disclaimer up first, buddy.
For that. So the one thing I'll say is when I buy my stocks, I buy things that I use and that I like. So any product that I see out there, like for example, if I shop at Target a lot, I like Target stock. If I buy only iPhones and Apple products, then I buy Apple. If I drink coffee only at Starbucks, I like Starbucks, So I buy the things that I like, the things that I see. That's my strategy. I don't go into anything that I don't know anything about.
I did the same thing with some of my money I made in graduation like 30 years ago. I invested in Snapple, Arizona Iced Tea, and Ben & Jerry's, and I made lots of money.
Yeah, you buy
because they were just started. Remember, this was like the early 90s. They were just becoming a main market from a regional market.
Same thing with cards. You buy the cards that you like. You buy the cards that you know. You don't speculate on things that are out of your wheelhouse.
So should we go back and invest in GameStop then? And AMC, or where's that stand?
I'm not.
Yeah, no. This is just advice.
Because I mean, for me, I learned my lesson. So it hurts too much. It hurts too much.
Because Andrew was going to ask. Yeah, Andrew said I sold a Charizard for like $150 in the mid 2000s. Ouch! So I feel your pain with the AMC and GameStop stocks. Is Roaring Kitty? Is he still doing things? Is he still making content about stocks?
I have no idea.
Or did he just go like in hiding? Joe Champagne, speaking of vintage, thanks to you, started dipping my toes in Type 1 photos of historic figures and sport goats. Thank you, Dan and Merlin. Yeah, Joe, DM me and share some with me, okay? Love when people do that. That's what we
try to do here, guys. That's really the ultimate purpose of this is we just try to expose and share different things that are cool to collect out there. There are a lot of hobby podcasts out there that talk about the same thing, vintage cards or modern, prospects, QBs, all that stuff. But for us, we just like to talk about different things and just try to show you guys that there's a lot of cool things out there to collect. So every time we get a comment like this, it's very appreciated.
Andrew, there was a Michael Jordan Type 1 photo that sold for $175,000. Yes, we know, Andrew. We've been talking about it for the last month, man. That has definitely started the hype with type photos for sure. Charles, soju is my drink, man. Yeah, me too. Hype. Is that what you say when you drink it? When you toast? Is that the Korean way of saying salute?
I don't know.
It is, isn't it? Where's Denny, man? I think it is, but could be wrong. Shoot me if I'm not. Joseph Gomez, the great curator, taking a drink every time someone says PSA. I think he has. He's holding his head up right now.
I drink a lot tonight, guys. I drink a lot. I drink more than
my goodness.
I probably should not have drank so much, to be honest.
Woo, my Lord have mercy. CV Sports Cards, Adrian, 90-day and Bachelor. Merlin, what the hell? Dude, come on, man. It's okay. You got to watch it that's why you don't have a lady right now. Ouch.
Oh, boy. Don't say that. Don't say that to him.
He's my buddy. I can say it to him. But you got to do that when you're with a lady. HKY Barn Collectibles, Between Two Slabs sponsorship next. Conor McGregor's whiskey. We would love that, man.
We need a new sponsor, guys. So yeah, we'll definitely take it.
I'll take the Irish whiskey, but I love Kentucky bourbon any day. Joseph Gomez, the 51 Bowman Mickey Mantle is the real rookie, but Topps is better respected in the hobby. I guess so. Adrian, CV Sports Cards. Adrian just texted me, bitch. Called me a bitch. 1951 Bowman is the only true rookie, period. 52 Topps is his first Topps card. Thank you, Adrian. Carlos, lower pop counts depending on the player and rarity make them more desirable. True, just like Dan said.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Carlos. See, I like this. I like people telling me, explain things too, because I can learn from you guys as well. Andrew, there are not 3 mantle rookies.
Oh, tell me how many mantle rookies there are, because from my count, there is.
I wish you elaborated on Andrew.
There is the 51 Bowman. There is the 52 mantle and the 52 Bowman. What else is out there?
So people pretty much consider those 3 as like the rookies, in quotes.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Okay.
Tell me otherwise.
Yes, please.
I'm not an expert on this, but tell me if there's anybody out there that collects this stuff. Tell me.
Expand on this sentence, Andrew.
Sorry, I'm going through this here.
Okay. Carlos, Dan is getting excited. He's always getting excited. Do you not know him by now? Andrew, George Mikan, considered to be the first NBA star. He doesn't have many cards. I would say people who buy his cards like history, sort of how some collectors buy pre-war baseball cards from the 40s. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, that's part of my point too, Andrew. Again, the reprints are not more than his 51 Bowman. I can confirm this is true. Even the, but also the refractors too, the chrome refractors, Andrew. Oh man, look at this guy. Oh, happy 7th anniversary, Papa Jim, or when you popped the question or whenever it was. I don't know what you're considering the proposal date, but congratulations on you and your wife. He says, I have a couple of 1952 mantle reprint cards. I got it for a novelty item. They are not that valuable. But let me clarify this, folks. I wasn't talking about the reprint cards. I was actually I was trying to correct myself. The Bowman Chrome refractor cards or whatever they were.
Okay.
For the top 3 refractors.
Okay. I'm going to make this one comment, and then I'm sorry, guys. I have to run to the restroom. Okay?
Oh, my gosh. Wow. We have an exclusive.
I drink too much soju, and I got to run to the restroom.
Can you take the mic in there, too?
Real quick here. Do you want me to?
Yes.
Maybe I should have like a bucket underneath my table here. Anyways, I'm going to throw this out here. I want to see a Papa Jim and Boss Wife Authenticator podcast. Merlin, take it away.
I do. I want to see a Papa Jim, the dual Funko Pops, whatever they are. Okay, I got to find. Man, we got a lot of damn questions here. I can't even keep up. Oh, I found him here. Okay, here he goes. Papa Jim, yes. Congratulations to you and your lady. Y'all look so young in that picture. I can't believe that's just 7 years ago. Y'all look great. Andrew, Dan and Merlin, what are your thoughts on complete sets? Do you think they will make a comeback? It used to be real popular in the hobby. Yeah, with the base cards, the common cards are really not that popular unless you're making like vintage sets. And I mean by vintage, like maybe pre-2000. Would you all agree? That's the only really people make sets before they started making all these variations. But now people do make sets of variations. Like I know for like the Star Wars cards, people were making like atomic refractor sets or wave refractor sets or wave prism sets or mojo sets. If they're affordable or if you want to spend that much money, but people even complete sets graded, like an 86 Fleer set, all graded. They could be various grades. They could be all PS8s or PSA 9s, whatever's in your wheelhouse you feel like doing. But I think now it's more of the variations than just the base cards. Carlos, Stan Lee type 1 with no stash on glasses is cool. Yeah, isn't that really cool? And those are pretty hard to find. And you're probably going to find definitely an interested Marvel collector who's probably going to want that type 1 of Stan Lee to Dan. Dan, are you going to sell that anytime soon? Or are you going to have diamond hands on that baby?
For the right price, everything's for sale for the right price.
Uh-oh, you heard that.
Okay, I feel better now, guys. I'm about a 1.5 soju bottles lighter. I'm sorry. I was trying.
Dan, the ratings went up from this.
I was trying to wait till this podcast was going to end, but man, too many damn comments. I was scrolling through the comments. I'm not going to.
It's making him motion sickness.
I'm not going to make it,
dude. Okay. Our numbers went up, Dan, from you turning red and going to the bathroom.
You look at my face.
I'm gonna have to start doing this.
It's a good thing most people just listen to us on the podcast and nobody's actually watching.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Maria what she takes. I'm gonna have to when I see you again. I'm gonna bring some patches over because apparently you need them.
This is why we're the most entertaining podcast in the hobby that nobody listens to, you guys. Okay, moving on to the next question.
It's gonna be Scarred Face. If he's Scarred Face 824. All collectors want a unique collection. That's the end goal. The flex of showing off rare items that not many others have is satisfaction, especially after putting time and effort into it. I agree. Everybody wants that awe factor.
That's what
correct?
I'm saying.
The awe factor.
If the prices of these things went down, I don't think people would like if they went down and they bought them, then they stayed there. I don't know if they would be as desirable if there were other better options out there. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody wants to see like, oh, that's so cool. I've never seen that. Culture Shock Collectibles. What's up, buddy? What's up, guys? Dan, did you put the Hot Toys up in your display yet?
Not yet.
Hot Toys.
Not yet. Those 12-inch figures that I got.
Oh, those Hot Toys. Yeah, what's up, Jesse? Oh, those. Oh, yeah, that's so awesome.
These are really cool. I have not found the room for it yet, but I am moving some things around. So possibly at some point.
Here we go. Michael Tom, good evening, Dan and Merlin. Have you guys ripped any of the Cockawell Star Wars cards? No, but I would like to. Have you, Michael? That's something I would like to open up.
I have not got into that yet. Honestly, it's really hard to keep up with all this stuff. I barely got into Galaxy Series 3 so far. So, we need a little bit of time. You know what I mean? Like, we need like 3 months between each release to really appreciate it for what it is. You know, all these releases that keep coming out simultaneously, it's too hard for me to keep up.
Hope they haven't gone up too much. I'm sure they have, but I hope not too much. Though I'd like to open some.
Let's see here.
I'm sure there's some cool things in there. Scarred Face 824. There's no humble true collectors on planet Earth. Nobody will think to buy a 60 Honda Civics before a Lamborghini. Let's keep it real.
That is true. He gets it. This guy gets it.
No, but at least, like you said, unless that Honda was super rare and it was like a prototype or something, right? That'd be the only difference. Michael Tom, Bandai Disney 100 cards are coming into the market very soon. You guys know anything about them?
No, I haven't.
No, but man, Disney's making all kinds of brands of cards, aren't they?
What have I been saying for the last year about Disney cards? Okay.
What have you been saying again?
I've been telling people that Disney cards are a play, and they haven't even begun to really pop yet in the hobby. And now we're seeing it. Now we're seeing the licenses come out. Now we're seeing people produce these things, and you're going to be seeing a lot more Disney stuff. We were talking about Disney for like a year before it blew up to where it is right now.
So Disney's allowed to have all these different licenses with different companies to make card products.
Yes.
They're not Disney.
I believe so. They're not exclusive for sure.
Yeah, not like Panini and Fanatics and Topps, correct?
I guess so, yeah. Which is why I'm saying, like, it's cool to have multiple products out there. You know, just let people make products. You know what I mean?
But which ones are the American ones?
I don't think we have
not so far, right? Is that the reason?
American ones.
I don't know.
I think that
find out.
The problem, like the benefit of having an exclusive license only benefits the company because they have no competition. But
right.
we as consumers, we want competition. We want options. You know what I mean? We don't want to see all this back and forth legal drama, battles, lawsuits, or anything like that. Just give us the cards, man. Just, make the cards. Let us collect it. They're going to sell. All the cards are going to sell. Whatever you sell it at your retail price, I guarantee they're going to sell. On the secondary market, the prices may be affected, but on the retail market, they're going to sell. So just let people have them, make the products, give us the cool cards, and then, we have more fun things to collect. And I think if we do it that way, there'll be a lot of product out there that the prices will stay stable, and they'll bring a lot of more people in because the entry price to get into the hobby will be a lot more reasonable.
Mark the Collector, WWE trying to possibly block Panini of having access to wrestlers, so no more autographs. Oh boy,
playing dirty, man.
And they can't do pajama cards, can they? Maybe
go for legends or something. I guess.
The Sports Card Professor 7. Interesting that the card manufacturing plant that Topps bought that manufactured Panini cards still shows Panini cards on their website. Crazy. Andrew, what are your thoughts on WWE calling John Cena the greatest of all time when they introduce him?
I don't think John Cena is the greatest of all time. Come on, man. Better than Stone Cold? Better than The Rock? Better than Hogan?
Better than Flair?
Better than Flair? No.
Because he's also tied with the most world titles.
I mean, maybe if you want to say he's the best homegrown WWE talent ever, okay, maybe, because all those other guys, except for The Rock never wrestled for anybody else. So no. I would still argue that The Rock is the greatest of all time.
I don't think Cena really has it either, has he? No, he never did.
No, Cena never wrestled for anybody else. Let's see.
Junior, hello. What do you think of the $15 submission on SGC? That's a great deal.
I actually just submitted a bunch of cards to SGC.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, the Disney cards. These ones that I have right here. I have, let me pull some for you here.
So you're talking about Disney cards.
Yeah, these ones, they're the only ones that grade these Disney type cards.
Oh, those are like jumbos.
Yeah, from 1930s. Ooh. So I submitted 16 of these to them, and I gotta say, they got their shit together. Like from the website to filling out the forms to mailing it to them to getting updates on the status, they got their stuff together. And now they got a $15 price point. It is, it's hard to knock SGC from the type of service that they're giving. The only knock on SGC is that their secondary premium value is not as high as PSA. That's the only difference. Right?
Yes.
So
they're gaining steam. I mean, I don't know if they'll catch up with PSA, but
that's the
reason. They have
yeah.
COVID was their best friend.
So I don't know.
Nobody really knew of SGC anymore except for like vintage people. But after COVID, they blew up.
I think what they're doing is great job. They're definitely doing better than Beckett, in my opinion.
Yes.
In every aspect. And I think if they can just be consistent with this, it would not be it would not be unfeasible for people to start valuing SGC cards as high as Beckett cards in the future.
Yeah,
you know yeah. Will they ever overtake
have one of the best quality service ever?
Will they ever overtake PSA? I don't know, probably not. But they are definitely a legitimate grading company for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of the grading companies, if I can just kind of go off on a tangent real quick here, I did notice that the monthly graded cards out of these three companies have decreased.
Really?
Yeah. So there's this, I think it's called like Gem Mint or something. They published population reports of how many cards that get graded each month by the four major companies. And I think like last month, PSA was at like 1 million cards getting graded. And then this month, they're down to like 300,000 or less than 300,000 cards. And then the other two companies are like 1/10 of that, or like 20% of that basically. But interesting to see that there's been a lot less cards graded now than there was the previous couple months. Okay, next.
Papa Jim laughing my ass off. Appreciate that. Thanks, guys. Andrew, I'll cut back on the questions next time. No, don't, Andrew. Didn't know Dan would be drinking so much, but great show, guys. Yeah, I didn't know he was going to take a shot every time your name came up, Andrew. Papa Jim, there will be no Papa Jim and Boss Wife Authentication podcast. Dan has had way too much drink saying crazy crap like that. Dita Carruthers. Oh my gosh. Wow.
The Boss Wife Authenticator is in the house.
Oh my gosh.
Now we know she has
exclusive special, folks.
Yes. Now we know that she has her own YouTube sign-ins. So you better be subscribed to both me and Merlin here, but we appreciate you joining the chat.
I feel so honored right now. I feel so honored. This is a special time for us all. Oh my goodness. Wow. I can't wait to tell everybody. To Raptors, the reason Cena is better than all of them is because he stayed there for much longer and hasn't had any controversy. Well, maybe.
Fair point. Fair point. I will.
Those are the years I missed.
I will
Unfortunately,
definitely give him that. He's definitely been a company man.
yes.
For a long, long time. And when I think of John Cena, I think of consistency. Like I feel when I watch John Cena, I feel like it's comfort food. You know what I mean? It's like what you're gonna get. That you see the familiar face. He's gonna give you top tier level performance. So definitely John Cena is like one of the best for WWE. But I don't know if he's the greatest of all time. I don't know.
No, the greatest of all time, I would say, would be the most legendary would be Andre, Flair, and Hogan. They changed the sport like Bird, Magic, and Jordan did. They made it from like a seedy sport, that was seen at circuses and weird stuff to a big mainstream multi-billion-dollar production.
For me, my top three would be Hogan because he took it from territory wrestling into like mainstream Hulkamania, larger than life characters, and then Rock and Stone Cold because they changed wrestling from being campy gimmicks to Attitude Era, and their stuff is still relevant today.
Adrian, CV Sports Cards, Luff SGC, great for vintage. Yep, resale value on modern is about at 70% of 70% of PSA, correct? Dita Crothers, you're welcome. Thanks, Dita.
All right, we have finally got through all the comments. That was a marathon of comments, but we do appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much for all your participation and engagement in the podcast. It's always a great time. All right, let's wrap it up, Merlin, so that I can lay down for a little bit here.
Whoa, oh my gosh. Wow. What an interesting show this has been for sure, man. I was not expecting this to happen tonight. I didn't know Papa Jim's wife's going to be here. I didn't know Dan was going to drink so many times Andrew popped up on his questions. He's feeling himself, right? And he's gone to the bathroom. So, wow, we are privileged. So, guys, Dan did all this streak of soju for you. So, do us a big favor. Subscribe to both of our channels, hit the like button, smash that bell button, and more importantly, guys, believe it or not, leave some comments below. Tell us what you think about the show. Give us some suggestions, advice. Leave a comment even if there's something, that maybe we asked that we did not know in the show that you can answer for us. I would be glad about that, and we will thank you for it in the comments as well. So also, Dan and I have Instagrams. We have TikToks. And apparently, after Dan's drinking, he's going to get back on, do some breaks on his OnlyFans. So it's the same names, the Great Curator and Merlin and Merleworld cards. Make sure you follow us on everything. I think we're on about 20 different platforms. So check us all out. We could, use it. Also, you didn't know, I want to make sure I tell you this because Dan didn't know till today. Who knew? But we also do the show on podcast. They usually come out the night or the morning of, and we're on every platform, Spotify, Google, TuneIn, Amazon. Listen to us in the car, if you have a Walkman. I don't know if they still exist, but listen to us on
Walkman. What?
A Walkman. I don't know, whatever. Just listen in the car, listen to us wherever you can, on the toilet, on your Bluetooth, whatever damn you have. Just listen to us all the time, 24/7. We have tons of archives too. Listen to us whenever you can and check us out. And we all see y'all later.
Help us get our podcast rating up on that list, guys. Yes. Okay. I think
we quadrupled, Dan.
Somebody told me Denny's cards is higher than us on the podcast.
That's why Denny's not on right now.
I cannot stand for that. Okay. I cannot stand for Denny's cards. Okay. We gotta surpass him at least, guys. So please subscribe. Write a review, right? I think that's the thing, right? Write a review for us so that we can get up on that ladder.
Share our stories, guys.
5-star review only. 5-star review.
Dan, what really helps me is when people, our fans and our viewers and listeners, share my story. I noticed I go up like 50 people. So can y'all try to do that some more?
Whoa.
Yeah, that's nothing for Dan. He probably gets 500,000. But I'm just telling you, I'm just being humble about it. So help us out.
Okay. Anyways, also, I don't know. I was sleeping for a second. I passed out for.
Oh my
for a second.
gosh! Wow.
Did you talk about the sponsors? Veriswap,
Yes.
Slabmags. You guys already know about them. Use the discount code below. All that stuff.
All the information, the links are below. You can download them all right now after the show's over.
Yeah, that's really it, guys. So thank you for that. Stay tuned for the end because Merlin has created a new end credit for you guys. So
And that was a new beginning
Yes.
intro too.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us, and we will see you next week.
Yo, listen.